Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm so grateful you have joined me today, and I can't wait to dive into something that has the power to change your life. There is something powerful about a woman who knows who she is, she walks with purpose, speaks with wisdom, and carries herself with dignity. She does not lower herself to chase after anyone because she understands that what is meant for her will align with her journey. The first sign of a woman of strength is that she knows her worth. She is not waiting for a man to validate her value because she is already complete within herself. She does not beg for attention. She does not plead for love, and she does not diminish herself to fit into someone's life. A woman of strength understands that she is a masterpiece created with intention. And when a woman knows her worth, she does not run after someone who does not see it. The second sign is that she prioritizes her purpose. A strong woman is not defined by relationships. She is defined by her assignment in life. She wakes up with a vision, she moves with direction, and she focuses on becoming the best version of herself. She understands that when she walks in her purpose, the right people will be drawn to her. She does not need to chase anyone because her destiny is too valuable to be put on hold for someone who does not appreciate her presence. And finally, a woman of strength attracts. She does not pursue. She understands that real love is not about running after someone who is walking away. She knows that anything she has to beg for will never be truly hers. She carries herself with grace, and in that grace she becomes a magnet for those who respect, honor, and value her. She does not waste time trying to convince someone to stay because she knows that love is never forced. It is freely given. A woman of strength understands that her worth is not determined by external validation, but by the depth of her character, her values, and the purpose she carries within her. She does not seek approval from others to feel complete because she knows that her identity is not found in the opinions of people, but in the truth of who she is. She refuses to measure her value by how much attention she receives or how many people desire her, for she understands that her worth is intrinsic and cannot be diminished by rejection or neglect. She does not chase after love because she knows that real love is never something to be pursued. It is something that is attracted by authenticity and confidence. She carries herself with dignity, never lowering her standards just to fit into someone else's life. She believes that if someone truly values her, they will recognize her worth without her having to prove it. She is not moved by temporary affection or sweet words that lack depth. She discerns between genuine interest and momentary attraction, knowing that her heart is too precious to be entertained by those who do not cherish it. She does not tolerate disrespect because she understands that how she allows others to treat her is a reflection of what she believes about herself. She does not beg for attention, nor does she settle for someone who only values her inconvenience. She walks away from situations that make her question her significance because she knows that anything real will never require her to compromise her self-respect. She is grounded in the understanding that she is a woman of value and she does not need to prove that to anyone. A woman of strength does not waste her energy chasing people because she is too focused on fulfilling her purpose. She wakes up every day with a sense of direction, knowing that her life is not defined by relationships, but by the impact she is meant to make. She understands that her existence is not centered around seeking validation from others, but rather in becoming the best version of herself. Her mind is set on growth. Her heart is committed to progress, and her soul is driven by a vision greater than temporary desires. She refuses to be distracted by people who do not align with her destiny. She does not allow her emotions to dictate her path, nor does she put her dreams on hold for the sake of pursuing someone who does not see her value. Her time is too precious to be spent on chasing affection when she could be investing in herself, her goals, and her divine calling. She understands that when she walks in her purpose, the right people will be drawn to her, not because she is chasing them, but because she is becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts those who respect and honor her journey. She does not settle for relationships that pull her away from her assignment in life. She is intentional about who she allows into her space because she knows that the wrong company can delay her progress. She embraces solitude when necessary, knowing that growth often happens in seasons of isolation. She would rather be alone and fulfilled than surrounded by people who drain her energy. Her focus is unshakable, her vision is clear, and her commitment to her purpose is unwavering. She moves with confidence, knowing that her destiny is too important to be compromised by distractions. A woman of strength does not chase after love, attention, or validation because she understands that true value is not in the pursuit, but in the presence. She carries herself with confidence, grace, and purpose. And in doing so, she naturally attracts the right people into her life. She knows that anything forced is not real, and what is truly meant for her will align with her without desperate effort. She is not driven by the need to prove her worth to anyone. She does not seek approval by lowering her standards or compromising her values. Instead, she focuses on becoming the best version of herself. And in that process, she becomes magnetic. Her energy, her wisdom, and her unwavering belief in herself draw people toward her. Not because she demands attention, but because she embodies something rare and valuable. She understands that love is mutual, not one-sided. She refuses to chase after someone who does not reciprocate effort, because she knows that a relationship should be built on equal investment, not unbalanced pursuit. She does not waste time trying to convince someone to see her worth. If a person fails to recognize her value, she moves forward without hesitation. She does not beg for affection because she knows that love freely given is the only love worth having. She is selective with whom she allows into her life. She does not accept anyone who merely wants access to her. She waits for those who truly respect, honor, and cherish her. She attracts people who see her for who she is, not for what she can offer them. She stands firm in the knowledge that she does not need to chase because what is meant for her will always come to her in its own time. A woman of strength understands that boundaries are not walls to keep people out, but guidelines to protect her peace, dignity, and emotional well-being. She does not allow just anyone to have unrestricted access to her heart, mind, or time. She values herself enough to set clear expectations about how she should be treated, and she does not compromise on them for the sake of pleasing others. She does not tolerate disrespect, manipulation, or inconsistency. If someone does not honor her boundaries, she is not afraid to walk away. She does not believe in chasing love or attention because she knows that real love respects limits and values mutual effort. She refuses to engage in relationships where she constantly has to beg for the bare minimum. She does not overextend herself for people who only show up when it is convenient for them. Instead, she surrounds herself with those who respect her space, her time, and her emotions. She does not apologize for prioritizing herself. She understands that setting boundaries is not selfish. It is necessary for self-respect. She is firm in her decisions, knowing that those who truly care for her will honor her limits rather than push against them. She does not allow guilt to dictate her choices, nor does she feel obligated to say yes when her heart tells her no. She moves with confidence, knowing that boundaries are a reflection of self-worth. She does not entertain toxic relationships, nor does she allow people to drain her energy with empty promises. She remains unwavering in her standards, understanding that the right people will always respect them. She does not bend to fit into someone else's expectations. She stands tall, knowing that she deserves to be treated with love, honor, and respect. A woman of strength knows that love is not something to be begged for, chased, or forced. She understands that true love is mutual. It is given freely, not demanded. She does not invest in one-sided relationships where she is the only one making an effort. She refuses to carry the weight of a connection alone because she knows that real love requires two willing hearts, not just one. She does not settle for inconsistent affection or empty promises. She believes that love should be reciprocated with the same energy, commitment, and respect that she gives. If she finds herself constantly giving while the other person remains distant or indifferent, she does not hesitate to step away. She knows that a relationship built on one-sided effort will never bring fulfillment. She does not chase someone who is unsure about her. She values herself enough to know that she deserves someone who is just as eager to be with her as she is with them. She does not make excuses for people who fail to show up, nor does she try to convince anyone to choose her. Love should be an equal exchange, not a struggle to earn attention. She is patient, trusting that the right love will come naturally and without force. She does not fear being alone because she understands that being in a one-sided relationship is lonelier than solitude. She waits for a connection where both hearts move toward each other with the same desire, passion, and commitment. She stands firm in her belief that love, when real, is never a burden. It is a partnership where both people willingly nurture, respect, and uplift each other. A woman of strength knows that settling for less than she deserves is a compromise she will never make. She understands her value, and because of that, she does not accept anything that does not align with her worth. She refuses to lower her standards just to fit into someone else's expectations or to keep a relationship that does not serve her growth. She is not desperate for companionship. She is committed to a life of purpose, peace, and fulfillment. She does not entertain half-hearted love or inconsistent effort. She knows that anything real should be clear, intentional, and unwavering. She will not tolerate being an option when she knows she is worth being a priority. If someone cannot love, respect, and cherish her fully, she does not try to change them or make them see her worth. She simply walks away. She would rather wait for something real than waste time on something shallow. She is not afraid to be alone because she knows that loneliness is not found in solitude, but in relationships that make her feel unseen, unheard, and unappreciated. She chooses quality over quantity when it comes to relationships, surrounding herself only with people who uplift, support, and value her presence. She does not let fear push her into situations that drain her energy or make her question her worth. She stands firm in her beliefs, knowing that the right person will never ask her to settle. She trusts that what is meant for her will come in due time, and she has no desire to rush into anything that does not align with her standards. She moves with confidence, patience, and certainty, knowing that she deserves a love, a life, and a future that fully honors the woman she is. A woman of strength does not entertain disrespect, excuses, or mistreatment. She knows that how people treat her is a reflection of how they see her, and she refuses to stay where she is not valued. She does not tolerate being ignored, manipulated, or taken for granted. The moment she senses a lack of respect, she does not argue, beg, or plead. She simply walks away. She does not wait for someone to change when their actions consistently show a lack of care. She believes that respect is not something to be negotiated. It is a basic foundation of any relationship. If a person cannot offer her the dignity she deserves, she understands that staying will only diminish her self-worth. She would rather walk alone in honor than remain in a space that requires her to beg for the treatment she should naturally receive. She does not justify poor behavior or make excuses for those who continuously cross her boundaries. She does not allow love to blind her to reality. She knows that words mean nothing if actions do not align, and she pays close attention to how people treat her, not just what they say. If respect is absent, she does not waste time hoping for change. She values herself enough to leave. She understands that walking away is not weakness, but a sign of deep self-respect. She does not stay in situations that make her question her worth. She refuses to compromise her peace for the sake of keeping someone who does not cherish her. She moves forward with grace, knowing that anyone who truly values her will never put her in a position where she has to choose between her self-worth and their presence. A woman of strength does not chase, beg, or settle. She chooses, attracts, and walks with dignity. She knows her worth, prioritizes her purpose, and refuses to compromise her standards for anyone. She does not waste her energy on one-sided relationships or people who fail to recognize her value. Instead, she stands firm, knowing that real love is mutual, respect is non-negotiable, and boundaries are a reflection of self-respect. She does not fear being alone because she understands that solitude with peace is far better than company with disrespect. She carries herself with confidence, knowing that what is meant for her will never require her to sacrifice her dignity. She does not lower her standards to keep someone in her life. She rises, knowing that the right person will meet her where she stands. A woman of strength walks away from anything that does not honor her, not because she is heartless, but because she knows her heart is too precious to be wasted on those who do not cherish it. She does not run after love. She becomes the kind of woman who love runs after. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm so grateful you have joined me today, and I can't wait to dive into something that has the power to change your life. A woman who walks with God does not settle for a man who does not know the way. The kind of man God sends into your life is not one who comes to play with your heart, but one who comes to fulfill divine purpose. Many relationships are built on temporary attraction, but what God ordains is built to last. The first sign of a man sent by God is that he honors God above all else. You see, a man who truly fears God will know how to love you. His reverence for God governs his decisions, his actions, and the way he treats you. When a man places God first, he does not have to be reminded to love with patience, to lead with wisdom, or to walk in integrity, because the Spirit of God is already leading him. The second sign is that he leads with purpose. A man of God does not stumble through life without direction. He does not entertain distractions, nor does he seek temporary pleasure. Instead, he is focused on his calling, and he understands that a woman in his life should be a helper, not a hindrance. When a man knows his assignment, he looks for a woman who aligns with his purpose, not one who simply pleases his preferences. The third sign is that he loves you as Christ loves the church. Love is not about emotions alone. It is about commitment. A man sent by God does not just say he loves you. He shows it through action, sacrifice, and unwavering dedication. His love does not waver when times get tough, nor does it fade when challenges arise. He stands firm, protecting your heart and honoring your worth. The fourth sign is that he prays with you and for you. Prayer is not just something he does occasionally. It is his foundation. A man sent by God does not rely on his strength alone. He seeks divine guidance for your relationship. He covers you in prayer, interceding on your behalf, and he walks with you in faith, ensuring that your relationship is built on God's word, not just worldly desires. If a man does not lead you closer to God, then he is leading you away from him. The man sent by God will not create confusion in your life. He will bring clarity. He will not play games with your heart. He will protect it. He will not drain your energy. He will empower you. When God sends a man, he does not send someone to disrupt your peace. He sends someone to reinforce it. So do not be deceived by words without action, by attraction without substance, or by affection without commitment. When God sends the right man, he will honor your worth, cherish your presence, and walk with you towards the destiny God has designed for you. Wait for the one who reflects God's love, because anything less is not his best for you. A man who honors God above all else is a man who has built his life on an unshakable foundation. His decisions, his values, and his actions are not driven by emotions, personal desires, or worldly influences, but by a deep reverence for the one who created him. Such a man understands that his first responsibility is not to please people, but to walk in obedience to God's will. His relationship with God is not something he turns to only in times of crisis. It is the very core of his existence. He seeks God's guidance in everything he does, ensuring that his steps are ordered by divine wisdom rather than human impulse. When a man prioritizes God, it reflects in his character. He does not compromise his integrity for temporary pleasures, nor does he allow the pressures of the world to dictate his moral compass. His faith is not just a title he wears on Sundays, but a daily pursuit of righteousness. He is not perfect, but he is surrendered. He understands that his ability to love, lead, and provide comes from the strength he draws from God. Because of this, he does not depend on his own understanding, but trusts in the Lord with all his heart. A man who truly honors God leads by example. He treats people with kindness, respects women as daughters of God, and carries himself with humility. His actions align with biblical principles, and he holds himself accountable to them. He does not manipulate, deceive, or take advantage of others because he knows that he is ultimately accountable to God. When faced with challenges, he does not panic or rely on his own strength, but seeks God's wisdom through prayer. He values spiritual growth, surrounds himself with godly influences, and continuously strives to be a reflection of Christ in his words and deeds. A man who leads with purpose is not aimless in life. He understands that he was created for a reason, and he moves with intention in everything he does. He is not swayed by fleeting emotions, nor does he live for the approval of others. Instead, he seeks direction from God, aligning his actions with divine will rather than personal ambition. His purpose is not just about career success or financial stability. It is about fulfilling the calling placed upon his life. He does not waste time on meaningless distractions, but he invests his energy in growth, wisdom, and the pursuit of excellence. Such a man is not intimidated by responsibility. He does not shy away from challenges, but faces them with courage, knowing that his strength comes from God. He does not leave his future to chance, nor does he wait for life to simply happen to him. He takes intentional steps to build, to create, and to leave a lasting impact. His leadership is not based on control, but on service. He understands that true leadership is not about dominance, but about stewardship. Whether in his family, his community, or his relationships, he carries himself with the mindset of a servant leader, putting others before himself and ensuring that his actions reflect his values. When it comes to relationships, he does not approach them carelessly. He does not seek a woman to fill a void, but rather one who aligns with his vision. He values a partner who complements his purpose rather than distracts from it. His love is not based on convenience, but on commitment. He does not entertain confusion, inconsistency, or double-mindedness because he understands that a divided mind leads to a divided future. He pursues with clarity, loves with intention, and leads with the wisdom that comes from above. A man who loves you as Christ loves the church does not base his love on fleeting emotions or temporary attraction. His love is not selfish, nor is it driven by personal gain. It is a love rooted in sacrifice, patience, and commitment. Christ's love for the church was not conditional. It was unwavering, enduring, and selfless. In the same way, a man sent by God does not love you only when it is convenient or easy. He loves with a heart that is willing to serve, protect, and uplift. Such a man understands that love is more than words. It is action. He does not merely say he loves you. He demonstrates it through his consistency, his faithfulness, and his willingness to put your needs above his own. Just as Christ gave himself for the church, This man is willing to make sacrifices to see you grow, flourish, and walk in your God-given purpose. His love does not take, it gives. It does not seek control, it seeks unity. He loves with a covering spirit, ensuring that you feel safe emotionally, spiritually, and physically. He does not expose your weaknesses or use them against you. Instead, he protects your heart with gentleness and respect. He corrects with wisdom, leads with humility, and serves with joy. His love does not crumble under pressure because it is built on something greater than human effort. It is built on divine principles. This kind of love is not perfect, but it is intentional. It does not walk away when challenges arise, nor does it waver when feelings fluctuate. Just as Christ's love for the church is unshakable, a man sent by God will love with a devotion that reflects the heart of Christ. A man who protects your worth understands that you are a daughter of God, created with purpose, value, and dignity. He does not treat you as an option or someone to be used for his convenience. Instead, he honors you with his actions, his words, and his intentions. He recognizes that true love is not about possession, but about protection. His goal is not to take from you, but to ensure that you are nurtured, respected, and cherished in every aspect of your life. Such a man does not play with your emotions. He does not lead you into confusion, insecurity, or doubt. He is clear about his intentions and does not manipulate your feelings for his own benefit. He respects your boundaries, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, because he knows that love is not about taking advantage of someone's vulnerabilities, but about strengthening them. He is mindful of how he speaks to you, understanding that words have the power to either build or break a person. His words bring encouragement, affirmation, and wisdom, not insults, criticism, or manipulation. His protection is not just physical, but also spiritual. He prays for you, intercedes on your behalf, and ensures that the relationship you build together is one that draws you closer to God, not further away. He does not pressure you into compromising your values, but upholds them with you. His leadership is not about control, but about covering. He desires to see you thrive in your God-given identity, not shrink into something less. This man does not take your worth for granted. He does not see you as replaceable, but as irreplaceable. He is intentional in making you feel secure, valued, and treasured. He understands that your worth is not determined by him, but by the one who created you. And because of that, he treats you with the utmost honor and respect. A man who pushes you toward your destiny is not intimidated by your growth. He is inspired by it. He understands that love is not about holding someone back, but about helping them rise into the fullness of who they are called to be. He does not see your dreams, gifts, or ambitions as a threat to his own purpose. Instead, he encourages you, speaks life into your potential, and challenges you to become the best version of yourself. Such a man does not allow you to settle for mediocrity. He recognizes the greatness in you, even when you struggle to see it yourself. He speaks faith over your life, reminding you of the purpose God has placed within you. When fear or doubt tries to hold you back, he is the one who reminds you that you were created for more. His presence in your life is not one that drains your energy, but one that fuels your passion and drive. He does not compete with you. He complements you. He understands that in a God-ordained relationship, both partners are meant to grow together. He is not just a supporter from the sidelines. He actively invests in your dreams, helps you strategize, and prays for your success. He does not belittle your aspirations or make you feel guilty for wanting more in life. Instead, he stands beside you as a partner, ensuring that you walk boldly in your call. This man sees your potential, not just your present. He challenges you to rise higher, to think bigger, and to trust God more. He does not just love who you are today, he loves who you are becoming. His leadership in your life is one that propels you forward, ensuring that your destiny is never sacrificed for. A man who demonstrates consistency and not confusion is a man who knows the value of stability. He does not send mixed signals, nor does he leave you questioning where you stand in his life. His words align with his actions and his intentions are clear. He does not say one thing today and do the opposite tomorrow. His commitment is not based on convenience, but on conviction. When he chooses you, he chooses with certainty, not hesitation. Such a man does not play emotional games. He does not disappear when challenges arise or withdraw his love when things become difficult. His presence in your life is not seasonal. It is steadfast. He is reliable in the way he communicates, in the way he loves, and in the way he leads. When he makes a promise, he follows through. When he sets a vision for the relationship, he pursues it with diligence. He does not operate in instability, making you feel unsure or anxious about where you stand with him. Instead, he brings security, peace, and assurance. He does not entertain distractions or allow external influences to dictate his behavior. His loyalty is unwavering and his integrity remains intact even when no one is watching. He does not allow confusion to enter your heart through indecisiveness, dishonesty, or inconsistency. If he loves you with clarity. If he commits to you, he commits with honor. There is no room for doubt because his actions provide constant reassurance. This kind of man does not love based on mood swings or fleeting emotions. He builds a foundation that can withstand time, trials, and tests. His love is not just passionate, it is dependable. His leadership does not bring disorder, it brings direction. In his presence, you find peace, not anxiety. His consistency is a reflection of a heart that is anchored in truth and guided by the principles of God. A man who prays with you and for you understands that a relationship without God at its center will not stand the test of time. He does not rely on his own strength, wisdom, or emotions to lead the relationship. Instead, he seeks divine guidance in all things. He knows that true love is not just built on physical attraction or emotional connection, but on a shared spiritual foundation. His first response to challenges is not frustration, but prayer. His first priority is not just to love you, but to lead you closer to God. Such a man does not see prayer as a religious duty, but as a lifeline. He knows that prayer is the key to spiritual intimacy and protection. He does not just pray for his own success, ambitions, or desires. He intercedes for you. He covers your dreams, your struggles, and your future in prayer. He seeks wisdom on how to love you better, how to guide you wisely, and how to build a relationship that aligns with God's purpose. He does not just ask God to bless the relationship. He asks God to refine him into the kind of man who is worthy of leading it. His prayers are not passive. They are powerful. He prays not only for God to strengthen you, but for God to equip him to be a better partner. He does not see prayer as a last resort, but as the first step in every decision. He encourages you to deepen your faith, reminding you that a relationship built on prayer is one that can withstand any storm. His prayers do not just focus on personal gain, but on the will of God for both of you. This man understands that a relationship that is not nurtured spiritually will struggle emotionally. He does not just say he believes in God, he lives it through action. He does not let a single day pass without lifting you up in prayer, and he desires to grow alongside you in faith. His love is not just spoken, it is covered in prayer, ensuring that what you build together is not just temporary, but eternal. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I am so grateful you have joined me today. And I can't wait to dive into something that has the power to change your life. Ladies, I want to share with you a powerful truth today. Relationships were never meant to be one-sided. They are built on mutual respect, love, and value. But sometimes you find yourself in a place where the person you care about treats you as an option rather than a priority. Let's address this with clarity and conviction because your worth is not negotiable. When a man prioritizes everyone and everything else over you, it's a loud signal that you're not at the center of his life. You see, love creates a natural pull, an inclination to cherish and protect. If you're consistently put second, third, or last, then you must ask yourself, is this what I deserve? The answer is no. A man who avoids commitment reveals his lack of intention. Ladies, when someone truly values you, they won't leave you in the limbo of uncertainty. They won't hesitate to claim you and build a future with you. Stop waiting for someone who is unsure about what they want. Your time is too precious to be wasted on ambiguity. Then there's inconsistency. Today he's all about you. Tomorrow he's cold and distant. Love is not a roller coaster ride. It's a consistent investment. A man who truly cares will show up not when it's convenient for him, but because he knows your presence is a gift that deserves consistency. Let's talk about effort. If he only shows up when it suits him, you're not in a partnership, you're in his convenience store. Love is sacrificial, intentional, and reciprocal. If he's not investing time, energy, and emotion, then he's treating you as an option, not a priority. And then there's the secrecy. A man who's vague about his intentions, his whereabouts, or his life in general is hiding something. Transparency is the foundation of trust. Without it, you're walking on shaky ground, and no relationship can thrive in that environment. Ladies, you were not created to be someone's afterthought. You were not designed to beg for love or fight for a place in someone's life. You were made in the image of God, and that means you are worthy of honor, respect, and devotion. Don't settle for breadcrumbs when you were made to feast at the table of love. So if you see these signs, don't ignore them. Confront the truth and make a decision that reflects your self-worth. Remember, a man who truly values you will make you his priority. Anything less is beneath the greatness you were created to walk in. Choose yourself, honor your heart, and never forget you are worth the best. When a man consistently prioritizes others over you, it sends a clear message about how he views your place in his life. Relationships should be built on the foundation of mutual respect and care, where both partners feel valued and prioritized. If you find yourself always second to his friends, work, or family, it's essential to understand that this is not just a matter of timing or circumstance. It's an indication of how he values you. Love demands a certain level of attention and commitment. When someone truly loves you, they will naturally make room for you in their life. They will ensure that you are a priority even amid their busy schedule. If he can find time for everything else, yet struggles to dedicate time to you, this becomes a pattern that reveals his true feelings. He may be giving his energy to other pursuits or people, while you are left waiting for moments when it is convenient for him to show up. This prioritization is more than just a lack of attention. It's a form of emotional neglect. You may begin to feel invisible or unimportant in his life. You might find that despite your efforts, he is always elsewhere when you need him, or his words fail to match his actions. It isn't enough to be someone he comes to when everyone else has faded into the background. You deserve more than to be someone he only reaches out to when it's on his terms. When you're placed on the back burner, it is essential to recognize that love should not be conditional or based on convenience. True love involves making sacrifices, showing up even when it's difficult, and making the other person feel like they matter above all else. Anything less is an indication that you are merely an option, not a priority. When a man consistently avoids commitment, it reveals a deeper reluctance to invest emotionally and fully in the relationship. Commitment is not just about labels or titles. It is about a clear intention to move forward together, to build a future, and to prioritize the relationship. A man who avoids this kind of commitment is signaling that he's either uncertain about the relationship or unwilling to make it a priority in his life. Commitment involves taking responsibility, showing up for each other, and facing challenges together. It means having the courage to decide that this relationship is worth the effort, despite the uncertainties that come with any connection. When someone hesitates or resists this, it reflects a lack of willingness to face the natural progression of a partnership. Level 3, sexual healthy. A clean space leads to a clean-minded person. Instead of addressing what it means to build a life together, he might change the subject, act uncomfortable when the topic arises, or give vague responses. This avoidance often stems from fear or an unwillingness to change. It's easier to keep things light, fun, and without any labels. But this type of relationship lacks depth. The more he avoids the conversation, the more it becomes evident that he is not emotionally available for the long term. You may be left wondering where you stand in his life and what he truly wants as he continues to keep things in a state of limbo. Even a man who is truly interested in you and values the relationship will not shy away from committing. He will recognize the importance of being clear about where things are heading. When commitment is avoided, it's not just about avoiding the label of a relationship. It's a refusal to engage with the emotional responsibility that comes with building a meaningful, lasting bond. Inconsistency in a relationship is one of the most telling signs that you are not being treated as a priority. A man who is inconsistent with his actions, attention, and affection is sending a message that he is not fully invested in you or the relationship. One day he might be attentive and affectionate, showering you with praise and time. The next, he could be distant, cold, and unresponsive, leaving you in a state of confusion and emotional uncertainty. This behavior creates an emotional roller coaster where you are constantly unsure of where you stand. It's not healthy to be left guessing whether he genuinely cares or is simply reacting to his circumstances. Relationships thrive on trust, consistency, and reliability. When these qualities are missing, it undermines the foundation of the relationship. You begin to feel like you are always chasing after affection or attention, rather than receiving it freely and naturally. Inconsistency also reflects a lack of emotional investment. When someone is truly interested in you, they will make sure their actions align with their words. Their effort will be steady, and they will take initiative to nurture the relationship. When you are met with inconsistency, it often means that the person is not willing to put in the emotional labor that is necessary for a relationship to thrive. Extracts. It may also suggest that their interest is fleeting or that they are not as serious about you as you are about them. The emotional toll of inconsistency can leave you questioning your worth and wondering if you're simply an afterthought in his life. The instability of this kind of treatment creates a toxic cycle where you become dependent on the few moments of attention despite the overall lack of effort. When a man only shows up when it's convenient for him, it reflects a lack of genuine investment in the relationship. Relationships are about mutual effort and sacrifice. And when one person consistently shows up only when it suits their schedule, it creates an unbalanced dynamic. You may find yourself waiting for him to reach out or make time for you, but only to be met with silence until he's in need of something or finds himself with free time. This kind of behavior speaks volumes about how he values you, not enough to prioritize or make sacrifices, but only enough to step in when it's easy or comfortable for him. A person who truly values you will show up not because it's convenient, but because they understand the importance of being present in each other's lives, even when life gets busy or chaotic. Their commitment to you is not based on circumstances. It's rooted in the desire to nurture the relationship and make it a priority. But when he only appears in moments that work for him, it signals that your needs, time, and presence are secondary to whatever else might be occupying his attention. And this lack of consistent effort leaves you in a perpetual state of uncertainty. You're constantly wondering when he'll come around, and his absence in the times when you need him most becomes even more noticeable. You might even start to feel like a backup option, someone who is only important when there's nothing better to do or when he's not distracted by something else. Any final word, even the leadership skill workshop, any ideas you may have had on helping build this leadership, the emotional toll of this kind of behavior can make you question your worth and whether you are being treated with the respect and commitment you deserve. When a man keeps secrets or is vague about details of his life, it creates an atmosphere of distrust and emotional distance in the relationship. Transparency is one of the core elements that build trust between partners. If he constantly avoids giving you clear answers or sidesteps important conversations, it becomes difficult to truly connect with him. Secrets and vagueness are often signs that he is hiding something, either about his past, his intentions, or his current feelings. You might notice that when you ask him direct questions, he gives short or evasive answers, or worse, changes the subject entirely. This behavior can leave you feeling like you are being shut out of his life and that your concerns are unimportant. Relationships require honesty and openness to function on a deeper level. If he refuses to share details about his life, his actions, or his emotions, it leaves you constantly in the dark about where you stand. Keeping secrets often goes hand in hand with a lack of commitment. If a man truly values you and the relationship, he won't hide parts of himself. Instead, he will seek to integrate you into his life, share his experiences, and allow you to be a part of his emotional world. Vague answers are a way to avoid confrontation or accountability. By not being specific, he is able to keep you guessing and prevent you from fully understanding his intentions. This level of emotional withholding can be incredibly damaging over time. It can leave you feeling confused, uncertain, and anxious, constantly wondering what he's not telling you. In a healthy relationship, both partners should feel safe enough to be transparent and share without fear of judgment or rejection. When this openness is missing, it's a clear sign that the relationship is not built on solid, genuine ground. When a man doesn't invest emotionally, it leaves a void in the relationship that makes it feel shallow and unfulfilling. Emotional investment is what deepens a connection, transforming it from something superficial to something meaningful and lasting. If he avoids getting vulnerable, refrains from sharing his feelings, and doesn't take the time to understand yours, it creates a disconnect that can be hard to overcome. Emotional investment requires time, energy, and the willingness to be open, to share struggles, joys, and everything in between. When these elements are missing, it's as if you're walking through the relationship alone while he remains distant, detached, and closed off. A person who doesn't invest emotionally will keep things on the surface level, engaging only when it's convenient or easy. There is no depth to the connection, and it's clear that they aren't willing to dive deeper into the emotional complexities that make a relationship strong. Without emotional investment, there is no growth in the relationship, no real understanding of each other's inner world. The interactions feel transactional, lacking warmth and intimacy, as though they are merely going through the motions rather than connecting on a deeper level. The absence of emotional effort often leads to frustration and confusion. You might start questioning why you're the only one making an effort to maintain the emotional side of things, while he remains distant and indifferent. This lack of engagement can erode your self-esteem, making you feel unimportant or undervalued. Relationships require both partners to be emotionally present, to show care, concern, and support. When one partner refuses to invest emotionally, it sends the message that they don't truly care, or they are not ready to build something real and lasting. The imbalance leaves you feeling like you're carrying the emotional load alone, which is neither healthy nor sustainable in the long term. When a man continuously makes excuses for his actions, it signals a lack of accountability and emotional maturity in the relationship. Excuses are often a way to deflect responsibility and avoid the necessary self-reflection reflection that would lead to growth and change. Instead of acknowledging how his actions have affected you or addressing any shortcomings, he defends himself, justifies his behavior, or shifts the blame onto others. This constant cycle of making excuses prevents the relationship from progressing and deepens the emotional divide between you both. A man who truly values you will own up to his mistakes, even when it's uncomfortable. He will take responsibility for his actions and work toward making amends because he understands that relationships are built on trust and respect. When someone constantly makes excuses, it shows they are either not interested in changing or unwilling to put in the effort to improve the relationship. Instead of apologizing or trying to do better, he'll find reasons why his behavior was acceptable or beyond his control. This pattern becomes frustrating and exhausting, especially when you realize that nothing ever changes because he doesn't acknowledge his role in the dynamic. By making excuses, he is essentially telling you that your feelings and concerns are not important enough to warrant genuine effort. This creates an unhealthy power dynamic where you're left trying to prove that his behavior is hurtful or unacceptable while he continues to avoid personal growth. Excuses also prevent any meaningful resolution to conflicts, making it feel. This lack of accountability can lead to emotional detachment, leaving you to feel undervalued and unsupported. In the end, relationships are not meant to be one-sided, nor should they leave you questioning your worth or place. You deserve someone who invests in you, who shows up consistently, and who treats you with the respect and honesty that every person in a loving partnership deserves. The signs that he's treating you as an option, whether it's through inconsistency, avoiding commitment, making excuses, or refusing to invest emotionally, are red flags that should not be ignored. You were created for more than to be someone's afterthought or fallback. It's time to recognize your value and choose to be with someone who sees it too. You do not have to settle for anything less than what you are worthy of. A relationship built on love, respect, and mutual effort. Never forget that you are a priority, not an option. Make choices that reflect your worth, and remember that real love doesn't require chasing, guessing, or wondering. It's clear, it's steady, and it's reciprocal. You are deserving of a partnership that lifts you up, nurtures your growth, and honors your heart. Set your standards high and never compromise on what you deserve.